I actually got introduced to network marketing in February of 2006, and I didn't get it to work, And at the same time, I was doing real estate. I was a real estate investor here in Florida, and real estate was going very well until about 2008. And that's when my business model completely fell apart. And looking back in hindsight, I realized I had a business that worked in a good economy, like a lot of people.
The leverage killed you?
Leverage killed me. And so in the meantime, from 2006 to 2009, I'd actually been a part of 11 network marketing companies.
Just looking for the fit.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Or just dabbling?
I thought I needed to be like a trench coat guy, like, oh, you don't like this, then try this,
It's like Jordan Adler was in, 11 companies?
Yeah.
Before and never recruited one person.
I recruited a few, but not too many.
Right,
and
okay.
So it hadn't worked. So, in 2008, when my real estate business really went down the tubes, I went through kind of a mental and a financial just coma. I just kind of checked out, and I hoped that things would just get better, but I wasn't doing anything. And I think I was just questioning my worth, questioning everything that I'd ever done, because here I was at a time in my life that I'd never been. I'd never been that far down from being that high up, because I did do well in real estate. And so, fast forward to July of 2009, I'm in foreclosure. My personal home is in foreclosure. 7 of my real estate properties in foreclosure, and life was not too great. Buddy called me, a friend that I've known for years. He's actually my best man at my wedding just recently, and called me about an opportunity. I went over there, I checked it out, and I said, you know what the hell, man? And so I rolled up my sleeves and went to work, became the number 1 income earner in that company in 7 months. I hit $40,000 a month. I've been there ever since. That was February of 2010, and so here I was.
You went from foreclosure,
yeah,
financial Armageddon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To 7 months later,
yeah,
$40,000 a month, and it's been there or better ever since.
Absolutely, yeah, it has.
Number 1 earner in your company.
Yeah.
Here's the question for you: what changed? You were in 11 before that.
A lot of people ask that, and they'll say, well, is it because the comp plan's so much better, or is it because the product, or is it because the leadership or whatever? And I think a lot of those are factors, but the biggest thing is me up here. I really decided to put effort into getting better, and I became on a mission. I was just on a mission, and I tell you, I built this psychological trigger so that anytime I would think about how bad things were, because here I am prospecting for my house, I'm in foreclosure, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you got to kind of trick yourself to have some posture, because you need that money.
Right.
You need money. And so I built a psychological trigger in that if I thought about how bad things were, I had to pick up the phone. And so when I'm on the phone, I couldn't think about how bad things were. And so I had read a book called Go for No, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Great book.
And
everybody out there should get it.
Absolutely. And what I did in that, my first 6 months in that company, I had to, no matter Sunday, Saturday, Monday, didn't matter, rain, shine, whatever, I had to get 20 no's a day. And I got 20 no's every single day, didn't miss one for 6 months.
20 no's a day for 6 months.
Yeah.
How do you go from 0 to 40,000 a month?
Yeah.
20 no's a day for 6 months. If you'll commit to that for the next 6 months, wow, will your life change?
It's something that, and I've learned, social media, and I've learned, other things, other ways of marketing, but I'll tell you, the big difference is I prospected. I didn't have time to wait for leads. A lot of people are like, I just need leads, right? And I didn't have time. I didn't sit there and refresh my screen waiting for a lead to come in. I was hammering the phone.
Yeah.
And I would prospect everywhere. I prospected at networking meetings. I would go on Facebook, connect with people, and prospect. So I used a lot of different ways of prospecting, and it's actually pretty easy to come up with 20 no's if you put your mind to that.
It's easy to get to 20 no's. No
It is.
problem.
It is.
So how many people did, that's 180 days.
Yep.
Approximately, right?
Right.
182 days, whatever.
Right.
How many people did you recruit in those 180 days, personally?
It's tough to say. I know at month